Hey! Happy hump day, everyone. Welcome to the Shadow Mecha live stream. I'm your host, Tim, the one and only Shadow Mecha. We're rocking the Mecha shirt today. Hi. It's the middle of the week. It's Wednesday. We're going to continue working on this little Team SD Buildoff thingy. We're going to jump into it here in just a few seconds. But, real quick first, if you want to rock one of these awesome Mecha shirts, look at the script on that. That's so nice. Hit up www.shadowmecha.com. Hit the store button up at the top. You're going to find this shirt, many more hats, prints, all sorts of other cool stuff in there. I hear they make great presents. Fuck it. I don't know. I'm done with it. If you are interested in any of the tools and materials that we are working with here today, I highly suggest you hit the Amazon link below, just here on YouTube and Twitch, that side if you're watching on Facebook. And as always, if you are interested in kits, paints, model, accessories, and tools, Mecha Decals, which are shipping now, those are in stock. Get your orders in for that. Hit up our good friends right down here, USA Gundam Store. Adam and the fine folks down there will definitely have what you need. All right, so no dilly-dallies today. Let's just jump into it. Let's get this work started, shall we? Here's camera 2. Now, if you remember from yesterday what we did, we made this little guy right here. This little heatsink dude, right? Bunch of stacks stripped and all that good stuff, shaping and all of that. So that's what we're going to be working with here today. We're going to be getting that installed into the top of the shoulder here like we had wanted to. And we're going to basically just jump right into it. Sound good? I think so. Hey, look at that. Durgantha, Mr. Ben, he's over there in beautiful Germany. He's checking in on YouTube. He says, woohoo, Andrin in the house. Hey, Andrin's also here, yeah. But what's up, Ben? Thank you for watching, buddy. Appreciate that. Robert Cottrell, he's over there in the Mecha Army Facebook group as always. What's going on, Robert? Good to see you, buddy. Along with everybody else there on good old YouTube, yeah? All right, so with that being said, let's get to it. Let's jump in. Let's get the eyes on here. And what we basically need to start doing is cutting out this section here, right, to get the heat sink into there. Now, to do that, we are going to we're going to chisel cut that. And if you guys are not familiar with that, we're basically going to use a chisel to precisely cut out the box that we need for that. Now, to do that, we're obviously going to need some sort of stencil, dymo tape here, so we're going to use the chopper to do that. Now, the easiest thing to do is to use the part as your stencil template, right? So, first thing that we're going to do, excuse me, is we're going to bump that right up against there. That'll get us the length that we need for our cut. Where'd the tape go? Where'd the damn dymo tape go? There it is. Here it is. All right. So first things first, we gotta square off the end of the dymo tape. So we're just gonna cut that. And we're going to cut our piece. Come on, there we go. All right, so there is our length. Right, that's matched up there nicely. And now we need our width. Right, so we're going to put our piece back in here, bump that right up against the stop block. Lock that in, take the piece out, put the tape in. Now, the tape is very, very close to the blade, and you want to be careful of your digits. So, I highly recommend using like a little bamboo skewer here. And that will help hold that in place without risking your digits, right? So, I'm going to put that scrap off to the side. Now, we've got a piece that is pretty much identical in size to what we have on the piece, right? So we're gonna take the chopper, get that out of the way, and then we're gonna bring this in. And now this has a bit of a. We're gonna need to crease this, right? So we're going to try to find out where that crease is. You know, it'd probably be easier just to measure it. Yeah. Let's see. We're looking 2 millimeter. 2 millimeter. We need that crease. 2 millimeter up. So let's measure 2 millimeter here. And we're going to make a mark on this with our hobby knife. Just like that. And that gives us an indication of where we need to bend this thing. Now, the best and easiest way to do is to use these like flat nose. These are, I guess, called duckbill pliers, right? Mr. Mikey Wine filled us in with the name. I didn't know what they were called. I didn't know they had a specific name, but evidently these are called duckbill pliers. Hey. And we're going to right about there. That looks pretty good. Let's get that nice and square. And then we'll bend that. And that, my friends, makes that nice little crease in there, right? So that's what we're looking for. Now we get the, pull the tape off of here. Well, actually, real quick first, I want to see something. I want to make sure. Alright, so that's a bit, just a hair wider than what we need. And actually ideally what we need is a hair thinner, because we need to make sure that we have, we take into consideration the width of the chisel that we're using too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off just about a ½ millimeter or so, right? Just like that. And let's square that up nicely here. Let's see if that's it's a little wide at the bottom. Let's try and compensate for that here. There, much better. Much better. All right, so now that should be a little thinner. It is good, because we can always take more plastic off. It's not as easy to put it back on, right? Wilson Alanea, he's over there in the Facebook Army, or the Mecha Army Facebook group. What's up, Wilson? Gordon Builds, he says, what's up? Now, where can I find one of those choppers? Oh, dude. The choppers are a hard commodity to find right now, right? Because the story behind the chopper, for those of you that are kind of newish or not in the loop, Northwest Shortline, I forget, at some point last year, the owner, his wife had passed away somewhat suddenly. And they were, the owners of Northwest Shortline. They had owned it for many, many years, decades. And, he was kind of so overcome with grief that he just didn't want to continue with the company. So he was actually of the mind to just close it down, just shutter it, right? At the last kind of second, I guess, I don't know if he had a change of heart or what, but he sold the company to his employees, or at least some of his employees, and so they've been kind of in the retooling stage, because there was a kind of a gap of production and all that. So at last information, they were kind of still in that kind of retooling, kind of getting back up to speed phase, right? Now, with the current state of things, who knows, you know, where they are with all of that. And obviously I have not checked in with the company, you know, on their Facebook or, you know, anything like that. But that's kind of where things were last time I looked. Now, current supply, what that translates into is a bit low, obviously. Right now, I would say check their website. I know that they wanted to redo their website, but Northwest Shortline's website, that would be the first place I'd start. Second place I'd go is to Evergreen Plastics website, because they had some last time we checked last year. Not sure if they have any more in stock, but those are the first places that I would start. After that, it's a toss-up. Probably eBay is going to be your best bet at that point, Gordon. So it's the best advice I can give you. Sorry. All right. So now, this is the thing. Obviously, this tape is way shorter than what we had drawn out. That's perfectly fine because, like I said, we can take plastic away. We can't put it back as easy, right? And the length of this thing in 3 dimensions rather than the 2-dimensional shape that we measured is obviously going to be different, and it's going to be a little bit deeper. But it's not going to be nearly as deep than what we had drawn out. So we take that into consideration. We err on the side of caution. We cut short. We cut small, with the idea that we can expand that after the fact, after we get the main part of the plastic cut out, right? So that's kind of the idea at this point. But first we absolutely need to make sure that all of this is nicely centered, right? That looks good. Okay, now we can cut. So for this, I'm just going to use a 0.20. I don't want to risk damaging my 0.15, so we're not going to be using that. But this 0.20 had basically become my cutting chisel once I got the 0.15 anyway. So this is a good width for that. Now, essentially what we're doing is we're just scribing lines like normal, but we're going all the way through the plastic. We're going all the way through, and that will cut precisely what we need. The precise shape of things, right? That's what we're kind of focusing on here at this point. It's just getting through the plastic, scribing through it. And it's not going to take a whole lot of effort, trust me. Alright, and we're making pretty quick work. I can already see the light shining through the plastic on this. And I think we just busted through on this first cut here. Yep. We are all the way through, right in there. You can see the little debris right there. I obviously it's hard to see on camera, and sorry for that, but kind of it is what it is right now, you know. So, all right, let's continue on getting cut through this piece. And basically, you want to do this just like scribing a line. Slow and steady. Slow and steady. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. All right. Real quick, I want to catch up with the chat here real quick. Drain Damage Customs over there on Twitch. He says, hey man, just letting you know, I took your advice on filling the bad panel lines with CA glue in the process of sanding down the glue, and so far it is working like a dream. It's awesome. Real test will be when I try to scribe new lines. I'll let you know how it goes. Dude, you're going to love it. Trust me. You're going to love it because you can scribe right through it, and it won't chip out or anything. It's awesome. I've done it before. There's a detail. Let's see, on the Jesta that I filled in. Yeah, here. So right here on the Jesta front skirt, right? There's this right there. There's this little detail right there, that little indentation, right? I had, on the airdrop, I had filled that in with super glue. And then what I did was, there were 3 lines. One perimeter scribe kind of down this way, one coming in this way, and I think another one coming in this way at some point. So there were 3 lines converging right in that filled-in indentation. Scribed like a dream. You never know it was there. So it's going to be awesome. Trust me, you're going to have 0 issues with it. That's really good to hear. That's awesome. I love it. Let's see. Gumpel Uruguay. Evergreen still has stock of the choppers. Hey, go get them. Go get them. Terry T, I was hoping to find more chopper hiding in my local hobby store every time I go, but they have not gotten anything new from Northwest Shortline for over a year. Yeah. Let's see. Ruslan, Mr. Bill says, man, the line at Kentucky Fried Tacos was 10 deep, and 7 of them were food delivery services. It's not surprising at all. That's not surprising at all. Gumpel Uruguay Javier says, I wanted to buy one, but shipping is going to be right now, and I don't want to spend that much. I don't blame you either. William Will says, good morning, Mech Army. Good morning, Will. VFX10 Viper Josh says, break on through to the other side. Scribing. I get it. I get it. Sam L says, they have a chopper on Evergreen right now. It looks like excellent. So, Gordon Builds, if you're still watching, check Evergreen because it seems like they have one in stock, right? Hey, Nico, he's over there. Nico Tejada Sanchez from Canada, 2019 GBWC Canadian champion. He's over there in the Mecha Army Facebook group. He says, hello, Tim. What's up, Nico? Good to see you, brother. Jacob Cook, he's over there on YouTube. He says, what up, everybody? What's going on, Jacob? Good to see you. Ranger Chris says, late to the show, but how is everyone doing? Man, it's Wednesday. It's hump day. We're humping. We're humping plastic here. We're just getting it, and grinding it, and chopping it, and scribing it, and all that good shit. Yeah. Let's get back to it, shall we? All right. Here we go. Break on through to the other side. Damn it, Josh, you got that stuck in my head now. God, I hope I don't get a copyright violation for just singing that. That would be bad, right? All right. This plastic is surprisingly soft in terms of scribing. I usually have to work a little harder than this to scribe cut Bandai plastic. This, for some reason, is just a tad bit softer. So it's taking these lines a lot easier. That's a good thing. Don't get me wrong. At least for at least for this process, right? Okay. We're just about through the side cuts here. And it looks like we're all the way through. And we are. Excellent. We are all the way through the two sides. Now we have to do the top. We'll peel the tape off and do the bottom here. Ranger Chris, he's got a question.
We have a question.
Hey. He says, "Oh, Tim, I have a question, and this one you might save as a discussion topic for Mechanism." Okay, cool. But what are your thoughts and theories on transporting models both short range and transcon/international? Ooh, that's actually something I have a lot of experience with, obviously. In my opinion, you can never be too careful, right? Especially when you have invested a ton of time in your models. Now, there are two different considerations. Number one, is the transporting models, are you just taking it someplace to show it, or are you moving, right? Because those are two totally different scenarios, and obviously two completely different thought processes. If you're just taking a single model and showing it, kind of like, what I do, then you can't go wrong with a hard case, like a Pelican or something like that. And Ranger Chris says both. Fair enough. So then let's talk about just kind of taking a models and showing them, taking them on a trip, showing them, etc. Like I said, you've spent so much time on a model, you've invested, so much effort into it and dedicated everything that you have to it. The last thing you need is for that model to be damaged in any way just by simply transporting it. So, with that said, like I said before, a Pelican case, like a hard case, that is extremely durable, I would suggest in an absolute heartbeat. Now, there's another company similar to Pelican called Nanook, Nanuk, right? It's a Canadian company, and their quality is right up there with Pelican. Resin composite bodies, virtually indestructible. Pressure valves, the whole 9 yards, double hinge locks, everything. The thing that I like about Nanook better than Pelican, yeah, better than Pelican, is the thought processes that goes into their design and engineering. They are both aesthetically superior to Pelican's designs and functionally superior. Meaning that, especially, I have one that's a roller, kind of like a carry-on roller case. The wheels are far superior to the Pelicans that I've had. The handles and everything fold down, and they fold down onto the case with springs. So when you let them go, they right into, right close to the case, which Pelicans does not. The handles are designed better. The grips feel more ergonomic and comfortable. extension handle coming out of the case is designed better. It's just, I like their engineering and aesthetics a lot better than Pelican, and the best part is that they're less expensive than Pelicans, right? But you can't go wrong with either. Yeah, and Nico over there in the Mecha Army Facebook group, he says, I used a Nanook from my GBWC. So there you go. I mean, case in point, right? I would have used a Nanook. That's actually, I bought a Nanook case for the airdrop, but when I got it, I just couldn't fit everything from airdrop into it, and I was so kind of heartbroken. So I had to break down and buy a Pelican case, the same one that I used for the Hummingbird, the same size and everything. So I had to use that, and that didn't have roller wheels. So you have to strap on a carry strap, and it's big and bulky, and it's banging into your hip, and it's just it's a pain in the ass. So Nanooks are a lot better, in my opinion, than Pelicans. I think I actually have the one that I bought in the Amazon link below, and then you can obviously search the brand from there and see kind of the different sizes. Obviously, being kind of the new kid in town, Nanook doesn't have currently the vast array of different sizes that Pelican has currently, but they have a pretty good selection of sizes. So yeah, when you're taking a model and kind of transporting it for show and everything like that, that by far and away, a hard case is absolutely crucial. And I don't mean like a hard case, like suitcase, like a Samsonite or luggage or anything like that, because those quote unquote hard cases are a lot flimsier than a true gear hard case, right? And it's weird because in some cases, the hard cases are cheaper than the suitcases. I don't know why that is, but and they provide more protection for your stuff, right? So food for thought there. But yeah, a hard case is absolutely the way to go when you're taking and transporting a model for show, right? Absolute 100% protection. Now, when you are moving, like moving homes and you have to move models and everything, then it becomes a bit of a trickier subject, obviously. You obviously would want to invest in foam. Lots of foam, lots of bubble wrap, lots of kind of like tissue stuffing or old newspaper, something like that to pad everything, right? If you have hard cases for your individual models, then I would 100% suggest that. Also, too, large Tupperware bins or large plastic bins, right? Those make wonderful carrying cases and stuff like that for actually moving homes. So what I would probably do is use kind of a nice kind of big-ish Tupperware bin for your models, either individually or maybe one or two at most in a single box. But the more boxes, the more Tupperware boxes, the more plastic boxes with lids you have, the more structural rigidity that you have within inside of the greater box, right? So that's kind of what I would suggest. Bubble wrap the models. Bubble wrap the individual legs, because you don't want the legs and the arms and everything grinding against the body as you're transporting it. Take off the delicate bits like the V-fin, the weapons, the hands, any little pointy bits that might get broken off. Tape those to a piece of cardboard flat or something like that, and then bubble wrap that and pack that in there. Aside from that, when you're actually putting them in a big cardboard box, foam that sumbitch around. Try to double wall with other parts of, with other pieces of cardboard and everything, so that box has nice structural rigidity as well. Throw in some newspaper, some packing peanuts, bubble wrap, whatever you can do to pad that thing out and to protect those models. That's what I would do. And then obviously tape that thing up, mark it fragile on all sides. If you can move it yourself, meaning that you can take it with you, then that's what I would absolutely 100% do. But if for some reason that you can't, and if you're having like a moving company move you or something like that, you need to let them know that, hey, this particular box or boxes is extremely, extremely fragile. These have just really very important things in it. Let them know. They'll usually take that into consideration, put them at the top of the truck or someplace safe, right? So those would be my pieces of advice, for moving houses in terms of moving models. So Nico over there on the Mech Army Facebook group, he says Pelican has awesome foam, especially for custom shapes. Yeah, exactly. But I'm more talking about just like general foam, just stuff to pad a cardboard box, right? So, but yeah, it's nerve-wracking to move or transport a model. It really, really is. It's probably the worst part of travel. Let's put it that way. Joe Stemsky, Sarge, he's over there. He says, I'm late. We had a little broken toilet handle issue. Oof. Superset 5's over there on Twitch. Just found out that my company shut down. Got extended another 2 weeks. Now go back to work on the 20th. More time to build model kits. Silver lining, right? Silver lining. Jacob over there on YouTube says, Tim, follow-up question. What about for dioramas? Oh, shit. Then you're really jumping into the weeds, right? For dioramas, break that thing down as much as humanly possible. If you've put any thought into your diorama, you've already taken that into consideration and you've allowed parts to come off of the diorama. If not, then it's going to be really difficult. I'm not going to lie to you. If you have trees and structures and all of that, then what I would say is invest in some like almost semi-rigid foam, not like styrofoam or anything like that, but like almost like that, if you guys ever seen like the yoga blocks and stuff like that, it's a squishy foam, but it's got rigidity to it, right? Invest in something like that so that you can kind of make spacers and posts that you can kind of fit onto the diorama in specific places to help support and protect other structures and features in that diorama, right? Aside from that, you want to try and create a cocoon of rigidity around that diorama. So find a box that diorama fits almost perfectly into, and make that kind of cocoon for it and fill that up. And then, I know this is going to sound like overkill, but trust me, it's not. Place that in another box and then foam that around, and obviously do your due diligence. Fragile, make sure it's marked fragile on all sides. Make sure you tell your your moving company and all that it's super fragile. This end up, make sure it stays in orientation and all that. Same type of thing as if you're transporting it for show as well. You want to make sure that there's a kind of a protective cocoon around that diorama. But if you can design it to break down, that's just a best practice. So, good question, Jacob. Bill, Mr. Ruslam, William, what? Not if you want. What? Chicken? What are we talking about chicken for? Oh, you guys are talking about KFC and all that. Whatever. Anyway, you guys are freaking nuts. I'm going to skip over the chicken conversation that these guys are having. Terry T, he's over there on YouTube. What's up, Terry? He says, watching Tim pack up airdrop was just as a treat as seeing the model in real life. Wow. I don't know how to take that exactly. But no, I mean, I put a lot of thought process into how the models go into, my Pelican cases, obviously. So if you have seen airdrop being unpacked, packed up, yeah, there's a ton of thought process that goes into that. The Hummingbird is even worse. If you guys have ever seen that in real life, it's probably at least a half hour, 45-minute process to set up and break down the Hummingbird. That's kind of why I hate the damn thing now, to be honest with you. It's so freaking fragile, it's not even funny. But Ranger Chris says, what I have been using is some of the boxes they came in for transporting to local events, and they have sort of worked, but was obviously concerned about sending them cross-country. Yeah, I mean, that's a huge concern, obviously, right? And like I said, you definitely need that protection, that high level of protection for your models, because you spend so much time on these things. You invest money into the materials that go into them. You invest money into the model itself. And then you obviously have a time investment, which obviously is crucial as well. So, I mean, you want to protect your investment, right? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with spending money to protect your investment. So, that's my opinion anyways. Ranger Chris also says, I also have the added problem of needing to ship a lot of aircraft models, both mine and ones I inherited from my father. Ah, I gotcha. Yeah, I mean, that's all that stuff is so damn nerve-wracking. It's not even funny. So, I get it, man. Trust me. I totally get it. Let's see. Bill and William are still talking about chicken, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, Gumpel Uruguay says, you mean like EVA foam? I think so, maybe. It depends on the type, right? Because EVA foam, it can be flexible, but it can also be kind of semi-rigid as well, But it's like that. I don't know if you guys have ever seen like a yoga block. That's the best thing I can describe kind of what I was thinking of, right? It's still foam. It's still like it's still like a spongy foam, right? Like, come here, you. Like this stuff, right? This is basically a sponge almost, right? But this is the type of foam that you would get in a Pelican or a Nanook case, right? This kind of expanded foam, right? But this would be more of a tighter cell, right? So it would be much more dense than this, right? That's kind of what what I was getting to, right? That semi-rigid stuff. So, yeah. Anyway, Ranger Chris, one possible option would be assemble a wooden shipping case. Yeah, in an extreme case, sure. I've never gone that route. I know prop makers, obviously, they absolutely have to, because some of the things that they make are absolutely just insane to try and ship. So they have to build a custom wooden case or shipping container or something like that. So, yeah, that is an option. It's an expensive option, especially when it actually comes to shipping that thing. But, yeah, I mean, that's absolutely an option as well. Jacob Cook says, thanks, Tim. Great tips. Hey, man, Jacob, you're welcome, buddy. HRO148's over there on YouTube. He says, a friend of mine wrapped things in plastic, put in a box, then used what looked like spray foam to fill the space around the item. It's not a terrible idea, but my only concern would be if it's basically expanding foam, is that if it and there's levels of expanding foam. There are some that don't really expand very much, but then there's some that blow up like crazy. So if it's a type that doesn't expand too much, then that's probably better. But if it expands a lot, then my main concern would be that it expands so much that it damages the model that you're trying to protect, right? It doesn't make much sense, and it's kind of an irony in that case as well. So, just make sure you get the right stuff, I guess, right? But it's not terrible. That's not terrible, right? Let's see. Ruslan Bill says, they're off the chicken conversation. Hey, cover your build with plastic wrap, then spray the interior of the container with the spray foam. Fill remaining spaces with soft foam. Yeah, kind of what HR148 had mentioned as well, Ben, Mr. Dragantha's over there on YouTube. He says, I moved my whole diorama and models 2 weeks ago. You can never have too much protection. And even then, a joint broke from the Cipher? Cipher? I don't know what a Cipher is, Ben. I'm sorry. Ranger Chris says, some have been victims of the Catzilla attacks. So some have been able to hold up to a degree of abuse. Also, you have to worry about gases on the expanding foam, so you might not be able to ship it by air. That's an interesting... I had not thought of that, but that's an interesting point. Z's over there on YouTube. He says, "Sup, everybody? What's going on, Z?" Nico on the Facebook, or the Mech Army Facebook group says, I was so worried about that. You saw how nervous I was. LOL, please don't break. Oh, dude. I know. I was there, and I was right there with you in 2016 when I was setting up my model in Japan in 2016. I was literally sweating buckets. Like, I was so nervous. And they had it so goddamn hot in that place. It was not even funny. But, yeah, trust me, I'm right there with you, Nico. Ben, Mr. Dragantha says... the one with the big blue brick wings I showed you. Oh. Sorry. Yes, my bad. Brain fart. So, yeah. But, yeah, that's... transporting a model is not fun, and it's not easy. You just have to take proper precautions. That's what I would say. So, as long as you do that, as long as you put in your due diligence, then you'll be perfectly fine. And hopefully your model will be fine. The other thing that I would say is if you're transporting your model for show, take take what's called an I got this from my boy Win, Paint Pusher. Make sure you have an oh shit kit. Meaning, make sure you have a little baby bottle of super glue for any little breaks. Make sure you have maybe some paint, just a little thing of paint, for your various colors and stuff, just so you can do really quick touch-ups. Maybe a little thing of any weathering products that you might have applied to reapply just in case, and just hobby knife, nippers. Emergency things that you may need to have on hand to repair that model in the field. And Win calls that an oh shit kit. And I just love that name. Oh shit kit. Yeah. Cheers to Win. Ranger Chris says, one option, albeit probably the more expensive option, would be rent something like Pilatus and fly them myself. Would help grind out some cross-country time and get some turbine time. Yeah, why not, right? Nah, I'll do it myself. I'll just, like I said, when I design a piece, I absolutely think of breakdown 100%. Because even if I don't even if I don't go to GBWC, and I mean that with all modesty, please don't take it the wrong way. Even if I don't, or even if I don't, you know, fly cross country with a model or something like that, I still need to be able to break this down, break a model down to take it somewhere. Because chances are I'm going to be taking it somewhere. IPMS event even just a local thing. So if you've got that in mind right out of the gate, that's half the work already, right? So conceptualize, you know, what and how your piece will break down for travel. If you do that, then you can kind of start to formulate an idea of, okay, well, maybe this can fit here and maybe this can fit there, and I'll need a box this size or a hard case this size, you know. Just take that into consideration as you are building your piece. Then it's just gravy from there. So, all right, let's get back to work, shall we? It's almost 4 o'clock. We were an hour into this thing. All right, so let's see. Make sure we're on screen. We just have to cut the this top part here. This should go by fairly easily. There we go. And now we'll spin this back around here because get the debris out of this corner here. Okay, now that we've got the line formed, we can take off this piece of tape. We aren't going to need that anymore. Now we can just go to town scribing this line here. Just kind of starting to break through. Okay, we're getting there. And it looks like we're starting to break through in parts of this thing. Let's spin this around and see. Yeah, we're starting to break through pretty good here. It's just a matter of time before we're all the way through. Now, keep in mind that when you're doing something like this, the last parts of your scriber that to break through are going to be in the corners. It's just the way of the beast. You're always going to have more pressure in the middle part of your line than in your corners, right? Now, that's good. Awesome. We are all the way through on all three sides. Now we just have to make this bottom cut, and this should be fairly straightforward here. Okay, get the debris out of that. Okay, let's go the other direction here. All right, we are almost there. We can't bend that bend that through just yet. It's not thin enough to bend and break just yet. We just need to get a little bit more material removed out of this. Now we're starting to break through. Cool. Maybe we won't have to bend and break. Just cut right through. And Watch this. Watch this. Here we go. Boom. And there we go. We are broken through. Excellent. All right, so now we have to clean this up here with our hobby knife. Just get any little burrs and nasty bits off of here. Any sort of debris and all that good stuff, while not trying to drop the damn piece. Alright. And it's just, you know, it's just best practice to clean this up and make this nice and neat. That way your fit for the actual part will be as nice as possible, right? That's good there. Good there. All right. So, moment of truth. Let's see how this fits. All right. So, excellent. This doesn't fit yet, right? This does not fit yet. This gap is a little too tight to fit this, and that's exactly actually what we want. We don't want this to fit on first cut. We actually want to fine-tune this thing. So that is a really good sign. Now we just need to fine-tune this opening and just kind of nibble away at the plastic on both sides so that we can get a nice nice square and even opening for this heatsink part, right? Let's see. We are still about, I don't know, a quarter millimeter off, especially at the top. The top seems to taper in, so we're going to need to remove a little bit more off the top of this cut than compared to the bottom, right? Not a big deal, because that's kind of what we wanted. All right. Whoa, hey now. Tashi, hey, thank you for the sub. Appreciate that. Scared the shit out of me. Hey, you get one of these, though. Hey, welcome to the Mecha Army. Good stuff. That'll wake you up in the morning, won't it, boys? All right, so, let's check in with the Mecha Army Facebook group, shall we? Gordon Builds is over there, says, how to be a party pooper, but wouldn't it be faster to use a Dremel and microbit? It would be faster, but it wouldn't be as accurate. Yeah. It would not be anywhere near as accurate as cutting this precisely. And that's what we want. We want precision, right? So that's what we take the time and we put in the work to make the gap where we're inserting this as precise as possible. So, but good thought, yeah. Let's see. Let's get caught up here. HR148 says, where is a good place to get replacement foam for Pelican and Pelican type cases? Amazon or Pelican themselves? They sell replacement foams for virtually all of their cases, at very least the more popular ones. You can get replacement foam from a lot of different places, eBay and stuff like that too, and I'm sure there are probably third-party companies that sell replacement foam for virtually everything. So yeah, you can find them pretty easily. Ranger Chris says, thanks for the info. Thankfully, move won't happen until later in the year, so have time as an ally. As an ally for now? Okay. I think that was probably a typo, but I get it. Ruslam says craft stores like for sewing carry it. Yeah, they carry just generic foam, but for Pelicans, the foam kind of tapers down into the case. And then you have cutouts, if you have wheels and stuff like that. So those are things to consider as well. So not all foam will be perfect for your particular case. Nanook sells replacement foam as well, and I really like their stuff. Let's see. Brusom says gun stores may as well. Yeah, because Pelican makes a lot of cases for firearms and stuff like that, so the chances are they would probably have it as well, yeah. Ranger Chris says, probably missed this as I was late getting on, but why are you scribing it out versus drilling out and then cleaning up the residual? Because this, like we said before, this is, we're doing this for precision, right? That's kind of why. And I never liked the Dremel method. It just makes a mess, and if you overdo it, it's more difficult putting plastic back on than taking it off. This way we just fine tune it, we cut it, we fine tune it, and bada boom, bada bing. It's virtually, at least for me, kind of the same amount of time investment. So, yeah. Bill says, I think he prefers to scribe cut rather than drill cut as it's cleaner. Corners stay sharp. Exactly. Ben Dragantha says, I'm off to grab something to eat before my fiance drags me out of the room. See y'all later. Thank you, Ben. Appreciate you watching, buddy. Good to see you. Chris Pabs is over there on YouTube. He says, afternoon all. He says you can search for pluck foam. Yes. Sandy Lee over there on good old Facebook. Got a laugh out of them, so that's cool. I appreciate it. Hey, if you can't laugh, what the hell good is it, right? That sub scared the crap out of me, I'm not gonna lie. All right, so let's see. At the top here, we're so close. We're about probably about 1/10 of a millimeter off at this point. So we just continue to kind of fine tune things, right? And the name of the game right now is precision. Precision, precision, precision. And you want to continue to check, double check all of your cuts and all that good stuff, because that's going to make all the difference in the world here when it comes to fitting this piece in. You want to check for symmetry, you want to check for precision, you want to check for squareness, you want to check for just all that stuff. That's why we put in this work, guys. We put in the work to reap the rewards. Now, the bottom here, the bottom looks like it's going to fit nicely. And that seems to be about the perfect sized opening for the bottom of this piece. But we're still just a hair off on the top. Let's see what that does. Ooh, 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 ooh. Oh, it's so close. It's so close. See, we could force that in, but then it'll be super tight, and I don't want that. I do not want that at all. So we're going to take a little off this side here and try and accommodate this part a little bit better here. Bingo. Now it fits top-wise. Now we need to taper everything underneath of the cut to allow this to fit a little bit better. So we're going to pull out the little, this is the square chisel, right? And we're going to come in from the bottom, and we're going to kind of taper that opening inside the piece, right? And that's kind of what it looks like from a side profile. See how this is angled like this? So what it's going to happen is it's going to taper everything on the underside. It's going to taper that. It's going to taper that this way, right? So it basically blooms out, and so that it fits a lot easier. Same thing with this side. Because we've got the top side opening looking really good and precise. We just need to make sure that this thing fits easily on the inside of the piece, right? So it's just basically trimming back some of this structural stuff and all that good stuff here. So it's just still a little tight there. Just still a little bit. So we're just going to just ease that back just a bit. Okay, let's try that again. Ooh, looky here. Looky here. Yeah, that, ladies and gentlemen, fits pretty damn good in there. That is not bad. Now, big thing is we need to punch this back a little bit. Just about maybe a millimeter or so. So what we need to do is we need to take this top edge here and push that back about a millimeter. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to run into this little structural wall right here, and that, unfortunately, is the thing that slots into the actual shoulder piece there, and you can kind of see how that, maybe not, if the focus, there we go. You can kind of see how that causes an obstruction there, right? So what we're going to end up having to do is grind that down and make that inner green piece kind of go away, right? We need it gone. Just go away. That's what we need, right? But first things first, let's do the trim cut on this real quick first. And the good thing is that we can just push it back to that structural wall, and that'll be actually an easy cut. We can just use our hobby knife and just kind of take it down that way. We don't have to scribe or anything like that. Am I even on screen? No. Figures. All right. Okay. Now we just trim this flush with that structural wall there. Looks pretty good. We're going to need to file parts of this down a little bit, just to make that really, really nice and neat. Here's our flat file here. Okay. Looks like we need to trim just a bit right here to make this gap nice and square. There we are. Okay, cool. Let's see if this fits how we want it. Yeah. Oh yeah. See, that is so much better. That is so much better. And we'll super zoom here in just a second for you guys. But man, that sits right below the surface and everything. Oh, it looks so good. Okay. So real quick, let's get that out of the way. Let's get super zoomed in. Let's get the box. 5x and bang. All right, so let's zoom out just a hair so you guys can see what this looks like a little bit better. Stop shaking there, camera. Stop shaking there. All right, let's get all this back here, right? Look at this. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. So it has, look at this. It sits right. We got this nice little reveal, this kind of little lip right there that just is so nice. It just sets off everything, because before it was sitting flush with this kind of little wall right here, right? And now this vent or this heat sink fits, and you can kind of see it. It just sits. It sits just a hair below this surface there. You can kind of see that right there, right? Oh man, that just looks, that's perfect, right? That's essentially what we're going for, right? And look at that. That profile looks good right there, right? That looks really nice. That fits just super well. I'm real happy with that. Real happy with that. Now, the next the next hurdle that we have to overcome is how do we get this to fit on here now, right? Because see that little gap right here at the top? That is where this this structural wall, that thing right there, that's what held this into place. That's what slotted in right in that gap. So we're going to have to basically clear this whole assembly right here. We're going to have to clear that out. That has to go away. And that actually has and that actually holds one of our rod, our pegs and everything there too. So that will create a bit of a structural problem for us, because we're only going to have one other rod and opening there to hold this shoulder together. Now, one good thing is that the actual shoulder hinge locks in there, so that actually will allow us to that's going to sandwich in there when we go to glue it, so that's going to align everything properly for us, which is good. So we don't have to necessarily really worry about alignment so very much. And we're going to glue these two green halves together anyway, so it's not a huge deal, right? It's not a huge loss, but it is something that, something that we're going to have to deal with, right? So let's get started with doing that. Let's get zoomed out of super zoom first, right? Boom. Oops. There. Okay. All right. Let's get zoomed back in this way. Steady. There we go. All right, so we've got our Zurons here. These, if you've seen before, these are our sledgehammer nippers, right? These are the ones that we kind of really put through the grinder. These are, let's take some other pieces off here just to be on the safe side, right? We don't want to mess anything else up here. So we're going to take these little white parts off just to make sure that we don't damage anything, right? That would be bad. That would be really bad if we messed up especially an armor piece. That'd be a pain in the butt. All right, and what we're actually going to do is we're going to take these two parts, these two green parts apart. There we go. And you can see, actually that's just more of a kind of a slot type of thing that just gets in, you know, goes in there. So that's not a huge deal, but we're gonna essentially just eliminate this whole section here. Let's get rid of that little peg there first, just to get that out of the way, and then get that out of there. Get that out of there. And then the same thing on this side. Watch your eyes for shooting plastic. And there we go. All right, so now we can pop these two back together, and you can kind of see what I mean. It's only going to have one rod, and these, you know, this thing is just going to kind of float out in the ether at this point. So not a huge deal, but still something to keep in mind. Now, we're gonna grind down a little bit of this little bit here, just a little bit more to make it flat. And to use that, hey, look what we got here. We got our baby Dremel, our little tack life deal from Mr. Bill Ruslam. We're gonna use this 2 days in a row. Look at this, you guys. Crazy, right? Let's get this ramped up to 3, and then let's start getting this ground down here, yeah? So I love this little thing. I love this little, this is so awesome, Bill. This is so great. I swear I love this. Oh man, it's just super goddamn satisfying, that thing. All right, so let's see if that fits on here nicely. Now, we unfortunately do kind of lose the connection point for the shoulder. So the shoulder, we need to kind of figure out a way for it to mount properly. And honestly, I think what we'll just end up doing is super gluing it in place at the very end of the build, just as kind of a tack on almost type of piece. But let's see there. Alright, so there is that shoulder assembly. Now let's compare it to the other shoulder here. Let's see, we're going to have to pull the other shoulder pieces out here. Where are they? Here's that. And here's that. There's the other shoulder pieces here. I got all the parts stuffed in this box here. Alright, so here's a shoulder piece, and there's another shoulder piece. Where's that lower part? Damn it. I'm not gonna worry about it. It's in there somewhere. Let's see. Let's get these two smashed together like that. Let's get that on there. That there. And this side here like that. And let's compare. Let's get the weapons out of the way. Let's compare these two parts, shall we? How they look. Yeah, look at that. So this top part obviously is floating out in kind of the ether, but that's essentially how they line up, and that's looking pretty good. Alignment it looks dead on in terms of the window there, right? Yeah. Rusham says, I would be afraid of using CA glue on an inner frame as that has the most stresses with movement placed. Oh, no, Bill. You kind of got me wrong here. I'm not going to be using CA glue to fuse these two pieces together. No, these two will be fused with Plastic Magic. So these will, these green parts will become one solid piece. This shoulder now is just basically a tack-on piece. So what I mean is the shoulder will be just tacked on with super glue, there, and it's just going to basically just sit as almost as a cover piece, right? That's all. Just to tack it in place. So, yeah. But that looks really good, you guys. It looks really good. I'm really happy with that. HR148 says, Zuron, the Hulk Smash Nipper. Dude, they really are. They're great. They're great. Let's get caught up even before that, though, because I know we missed a little bit of conversation here, right? Let's see. Sandy Lee over there on Facebook, they say, cool, nice position. Thank you. Terry T says, it seems that the soft gray Bandai plastic that they use for frames doesn't adhere well with CA glue. Is that your experience as well? I don't think I've ever really run into a point where I kind of needed that. Well, no, actually, I take that back. Let's see, is this... Yeah, so this kind of ankle bit here on the Jesta Master Grade, this is that kind of softish gray plastic, and I put two detail round bits on there for the airdrop, and then some detail stripping here, and then on the front as well. And I think, if I remember correctly, I used super glue on that, and that didn't have an issue. So I don't know. I don't think I've ever run into it myself, Terry. Bill says, Terry, you mean the polycaps? No. It's that weird inner frame plastic that they have on like the Sinanju Stein, the Jesta, and some other ones. It's a weird density. It's a little rubbery even. It's just odd, right? Kenneth Sims says KPS plastic. Interesting. I don't know what that is. Let's see. Terry says, not the polycaps, the gray plastic that Bandai use to make the frames and joints. For some reason, that plastic is softer than the rest. Yeah. Will says, you may want to drill holes and add a pin to keep the parts together with glue if you were talking about ABS plastic. ABS is real simple because you can just use Plastic Magic on ABS, because Plastic Magic glues ABS like it's nothing. Just like polystyrene at that point. So that's the magic sauce right there. Let's see. Bill says, oh, we read that comment about CA glue and everything. Terry says, I'm putting Plastic Magic cement to the test, gluing styrene to ABS with the rod trick. Yeah, you'll have zero issues, Terry. Trust me. Sam L says, all I have are Zurons. They're great. Zurons are great. I have zero complaints about Zurons. I just like my little orange handle ones because like they rip through plastic, right? Bill says, thumbs up, hope you enjoy the angle stops at least half as much. Dude, I'm sure I will. I'm sure I will. Thank you again, Bill. But that little Tack Life little baby Dremel is just freaking awesome. Yeah, it's great. It's just absolutely great. All right, so real quick, let's do a little testing here. Let's take this off, and then let's get these guys apart here. Now, what I want to do is really kind of flatten out this this little bit here, right? So I'm going to take the flat file. Actually, before that, I'm going to take the hobby knife and just get as much plastic out of here as I possibly can. And this is the brittle kind of, I don't like this clear Bandai plastic. It's so god awful brittle and just terrible. Oop. Let's see here. Somebody's at the front door, you guys. Let's see who's at the front door. Bear with me for 1 second, you guys. They must have walked away. Oh well. No matter. But we're basically just trimming this down and getting this nice and flat here, right? Mainly because I want that shoulder piece to sit as flush and as nice as possible. So the flatter that we get this, the better chance of that happening, right? Pretty good. Now, one thing I'm noticing on the interior here, so we may have to reinforce. Shit, come on, camera. Maybe not? No? Son of a bitch. What's up, camera? There it goes. There we are. All right, now we're back in focus here. But what I'm noticing is we may have to reinforce this kind of this hollow area right in here, because once we trim this flat, there's going to be an open space, and you can kind of see that right there. There's going to be an open gap right there, so that could cause things, could cause, you know, structural issues, right? Stability problems and thus. So if we back that either with epoxy putty or just, you know, a plastic sheet, that will definitely help with structural rigidity for this piece, because we've obviously greatly weakened it by, you know, taking off that that part there, that nub part. So it's one of the things that you have to compensate for when you're doing, you know, surgery like this, essentially. Let's get that part off of there, because I don't want to damage any of the armor. There we go. Let's see here. Look at this. Miss Tex Marquise Armida. She says, knock, knock, open up the door. It's real. Yeah, right? Sandy Lee, that clear plastic is what Bandai's proud of. Yeah, you know what? They could be proud of it all day. It's brittle as shit, right? I don't like this clear plastic. It's not structurally sound. It's just, ugh. It's just brittle crap is what it is. I would have much rather had a I would much rather have these pieces be molded in opaque, you know, even just a metallic green, right? They've got the ugly metallic gold plastic that they put on the Freedoms and the Strike Freedoms and all that. Why not do the same thing with this? Why go stupid, right? It's Bandai. They want to make figure kits, not model kits, right? What are you gonna do? All right, we're gonna bring this little baby Dremel back in here. We're gonna put this thing to work. Actually, wait a minute. We're gonna swap out the bit. We're gonna bring in the smaller cylindrical bit here, right? We're gonna swap this bad boy in here. We're gonna get a little bit more stability and a little bit more precision with this smaller bit. Lock that down. Crank that sumbitch up. Let's go. Yeah, there we go. I love this thing. Look at that. That makes short work of it. These slower speeds on this thing are just great. Jeez. Yeah. I love this thing. I love it. I love it. Oh. All right. Let's, we need a proper alignment here. So we're going to pop one of these shoulder parts in here. We're going to get as much structural rigidity as possible in here, so that we can do kind of a final grind, sand, file kind of action here. Yeah, that's good. All right, so now, whoop. Let's see. Good there. Now, I'm just going to flatten this out. Just like that. Ooh, that's flat. That's real flat. That's real flat. Now, this... make sure that this is squeezed together there we go, as much as possible, because that is an exacting type of fit there. Oh, there's no wiggle. There's no wiggle to it anymore. There was a little bit of a teeter-totter kind of action, but man, there's none of that now. That just sits super flush right now. Oh, perfect. Just perfect. All right, let's take that off of there. Let's reassemble this guy here. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Look at that. Oh yeah, see the difference, that's a huge difference maker right there, right? It's a huge difference maker. Let's get we're gonna zoom out first, and then we're gonna get super zoomed back in. But you'll be able to see everything a lot better, okay? Let's see. Get our box and zoom in. Whew, that is blown out, isn't it? Back that up just to introduce some contrast into this picture here, right? But look at that. That whole heatsink is such a difference maker when it comes to the look of this piece, right? I mean, you've got this just kind of flattish, ugly box there, but then here you've got this super cool little heatsink that just fits in and just kind of is buried in that little gap there so nicely. It just looks natural, right? And then we'll kind of detail up some of the other parts around it to just bring out that kind of visual cue where your eye is drawn into it, right? But man, I am psyched about that. That looks really good, you guys. Like, I'm really, really happy with that, how that turned out. Shit, now we just have to duplicate it, right? Easy, sure. No. God. Oh, let's see. Let's get caught up in the chat, shall we? Oh, man, we missed a lot here, didn't we? Let's see. Let's take this off so we can read. Persistent Turtle, Mr. Lucas, he's over there on YouTube. He says, plus to social distancing, no more soliciting. That is actually a good thing, right? No more people knocking on the doors saying, hey, we're doing construction in your area. Just wanted to give you a list of our Get the fuck out of here. That's what I normally do. Ruslam says, filling that the right way will give you a mounting point for the cover with the heatsink. Yeah, no, actually, that's actually a decent idea. Now, the a-hole. Ah. A-hole. That's what we call Alexa. Shut up! Stop it! Cancel! I tried to whisper so she wouldn't hear me, but she still heard me. So I just muted the bitch. Anyway. So the problem that you end up, Bill, is that there's the rod and everything are right behind there. So there's not a lot of space in that area for kind of a new mounting rod or anything like that. So honestly, what I'll end up doing is painting this whole thing, keeping this shoulder separate, and then just popping a drop of super glue or something like that right there, and then just mounting that right in there naturally, and then that'll hold perfectly. Because all the green is going to be painted. I hate, like I said, I hate the look of the clear plastic. It's just super ugly. I'm going to paint this kind of a nice metallic green. Maybe even throw a clear coat over that, like a clear candy coat or something like that. Like another clear green to really kind of deepen that metallic look. So I think that's what we'll probably do. So hell, maybe what we do is maybe we go crazy. Maybe we paint this like a metallic blue color, and then throw a clear yellow over top of it. Or even opposite, paint it like a gold, and then throw a clear blue over top of it. These are all options. These are all options still on the table. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to test on some spoons and see what looks best. Those could be interesting looks. Anyway, Sandy Lee over there on Facebook. I built the SD Unicorn last week, and I was amazed how they can switch from Unicorn mode to Destroy mode back and forth in such small scale. Clever design, fun to play with, lots of ideas. I know, right? This is a cool little kit because you can do all of that with this one kit, right? With the little SD thing, this cover. This top cover comes off. These front covers come off. And then you have other parts that you can just slap on there to kind of hide the Psycho frame in there and kind of form back into the normal Unicorn mode, right? It's a pretty cool little design. I'm impressed. I really like this kit. It's not bad. The high grade sucks, but the SD is awesome. Handren Mr. Hisaki Art, he's over there on YouTube. He says, damn, panic buying is hitting the food section as well. Finding fresh meat is getting hard. Yeah. Bill, Mr. Ruslam says, dude, we ran out of meat, deli meats, and canned meals like soup and chili over a week ago. Whew. Everyone is stocking up to be in the home till January. I really hope not. Anyway, Ranger Chris says, stop using that thing. It's getting harder to resist getting one. Especially since it only slightly more than the flex attachment for the Dremel. It's so nice. I mean, look at this thing. It's so damn compact, right? Check this out. These are my digital calipers, right? Look how small that thing is compared. Like, come on. That's a no-brainer. And bastard file? Baby Dremel. Look, come on. Like, it's just slightly bigger than the handle for the bastard. Okay, this is gonna blow your mind. Lil bastard. Baby Dremel. With the bit, it's the same size. It's the same size as the little bastard. Come on. It's a no-brainer. Drain Damage Custom says, dude, it cuts like money. That's thanks again for the tip. I'll have some pics posted in a bit. There you go. Mr. Bill says, yep, fast food and a small selection of frozen meals, and that gets old quick. Whew, yeah. Chris Degger's over there on YouTube. What's going on, Chris? Wow, a Dremel that does not melt the plastic. That's amazing, right? Because it spins at such slower speeds than your normal Dremel. Now, mind you, the normal Dremel is great for moving material. This little guy is great for like your detail, grinding and removing material, and just getting enough off of the piece to just really fine tune it. It's just awesome. CML says, right? I just put it in and took it out of my Amazon cart about 10 times. William Wilm says, I have a Japanese version of that. Only problem, it has one collet for smaller bits. I'm trying to find larger gapped collets that will fit in it. Dude, this one takes the normal Dremel collet selections, right? So here is one of them that came with the little baby Dremel. This is a collet. This is the same size collet that I got in the Dremel multi-pack of different sized collets, right? Or chucks, or whatever you want to call them. As you can see, same exact size. They fit in here perfectly. That's why I like this thing. It's amazing, and it fits all the current Dremel bits that I have. No-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Big shout out to Ruslan, Mr. Bill, for getting that for me. Dude, you're a legend. Bill says, LOL, yes, give in to the dark side, right? Chris Degger says, I'm going to look for it now. Sam L says it's on the Amazon list. Yes, it is. It's on the Amazon list. Just hit the Amazon thing below and go get you one. We'll try the Dremel collets. This one can use them. They can. Yes. Yes. Let's see. Bill says, LOL, everyone reminding people to use the Amazon link is awesome. Yes, I know, right? Thank you, guys. Thank you. Bill says, I am seeing on Amazon a variety pack at different sizes for $6. That's that I'm thinking of trying out. Dude, yeah, that's what I have, and that it works. It's awesome. Sam L says, F it, I just bought it. Awesome. Hendren says, Bill, I should get a cut for discovering that tool. Right? Kind of right. He's kind of right. Excuse me. Matt 07K is over there on YouTube getting a smiley face from him. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate that, buddy. Rusam says, since I don't know your specific model, I can't advise you. I would take calipers to the inside and measure that. Then look for collets that fit that size. Oh, in response to Will, yeah. Sam L says, I prefer to use Tim's list when I can. LOL, that way I know I am using what he is when he gives examples. Exactly. That's why I kind of started that list, to give you guys the options of using the things that I use, right? So there you go. Bill says, LOL, definitely Hendren. After I used it for a few months, I thought Tim needed to try it, especially since it is so much quieter than the Dremel. And that's another big thing that I noticed, that it's just a little hum, that it's great. Sandy Lee over on Facebook says, time to build more Gundam, right? Hendren says, the lower RPM is awesome for the hobby since it doesn't melt the plastic like the normal rotary tools do. I agree. That was my main gripe with the normal Dremels, because my normal Dremel, the lowest it can go is 5,000, right? And from what it said on the instructions here, the lowest this goes is 5,000. I think that's bullshit, because that is not 5,000 RPM. Let me show you what 5,000 RPM is, you guys. Real quick, let's do a well, there's shit. There's no bit in this. I need a bit in here to show you what 5,000 looks like. Let's get a bit in here. And then let's get this secured, because if we don't, it'll go spinning out of control, and that's never good. Okay, so the other thing that I really, really like about this little guy compared to this is that this has the pin that you just push down to lock the collet, right? You just press this pin down right here, and it locks in the collet, and you can tighten it and untighten it. For this, you need to put like a pin in there and secure that down. So that is another just step that takes time, right? And it's a pain in the ass. All right, that, my friends, is 5,000 RPM. That is not 5,000 RPM on the Tack Life. That is much slower. All right. That is much slower. That's like 1,000 RPM, if I was to guess. But anyway, it's awesome. It is. It's awesome. Let's see. Sandy Lee says, looking forward to that green. Right? Me too. Ruslam says, candy blue psycho frame. Interesting. Sandy Lee says, "Wow, thanks for for those tips. Can you save the spoons for comparison?" Oh yeah, I'll show them once we get to the painting part. So yeah. Hendren says, "It is a shame the CS version doesn't let you transform back to the unicorn mode like the BB version does, right?" Mr. Lucas, Persistent Turtle, I'm making sure the deer that come into my backyard stay fat. Okay. Brandon says, "Anyone else stream keeps skipping like 2-second bites?" I don't think so, man. Looks like we have an excellent connection over there on the YouTubes. So it might just be your connection, man. I don't know. Or it just could be YouTube just taking a dump on you. It's hard to say, Brandon. Hendren says, "LOL, Persistent, I saw like 4 deer last week around the house. I'm keeping a lookout. Nice." Bill says, "I was comparing it to the BMC chisels." 5,000 Hendren says 5,000 RPM is what we need for the hobby. Yeah, right? Chris Degger says, "I just bought it from Tim's affiliate link." Thank you, Chris. Big time shout out. Awesome. Appreciate that, brother. Hendren says, "I'm going to ask for a cut." Oh, man. Chris Degger says, "Can't wait to see how it sands my arthritis. Sands my arthritis hands need the help." Oh, trust me. It's a cool little tool. I don't know if I would use it for sanding, so to speak, but for everything else, I think it's awesome, right? William Will says, "Praise the model gods. I bought a box of accessory bits and just realized it's from Tack Life. It has 4 collets and they fit my rotary tool." What? There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Hendon says, "Yep, that's probably 2,000 RPM." Tex says, "If there is one, think I know. It's 5,000 RPM. You're being throttled, sir." Thank you. Bill says, "Lowest is 500, I thought." It could be. It could be. I thought it said 5,000. I might have been wrong. I don't know. Persistent Turtle says, "Baby Dremel says the same, 5,000. I'm not sure why, but definitely a lot slower. Maybe it's per the size of the motor." I don't know. Henry says, "I would say it's between 2,000 and 3,000. Either way, it's awesome, right? Rusham says, "I'm not at home, so I can't look it up." Ranger Chris says, "Skipping for me." Ooh, that's not good. It's 2 people skipping. Sam L says, "It did it at first for me. I refreshed and it's fine." So there you go. Refresh the page, you guys. For those of you on the good old YouTubes. But yeah, this little guy is just straight awesome. There's no other way around it. Get out of super zoom there. Turn that box off. Aww. Tack Life. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Alright, let's get a little bit. Get the windows back in here. There we go. Alright, cool deal. So you guys, this, Bill, you're the man. I love this little thing. I really, really do. So this is a really cool tool. Really cool tool. And the best part is that it's just a mini USB. That's all. Right in here. Plug it in. Red means it's charging. It'll turn green once it's fully charged. You're off to the races. I just keep it right over here, kind of below the monitor, just right in front of here, and it's great. It's just really, really great. Yeah. Hendren says, "Last year I recommended it to Simon. He loved it as well." Because it's an awesome little tool, man. I'm kind of blown away by it, honestly. And I don't get blown away or shocked or easily impressed by a lot of tools. Mainly because I've used a ton of different tools over the years, and I just don't get impressed that easily with tools. I've seen them come, I've seen them go, but this little thing's a game changer. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, it's big time. It is big time. All right, so let's see. It's 4:59. Let's just keep going just a little bit, because I do want to add just a little bit more, just a little bit of detail, just to kind of set some things off on this piece, right? You've got, and let's get zoomed back in here. And on here, you've kind of got this little recessed gap right here, this little section, right? And that's really a nice little detail. But I think we can use something right here on top of the on top of this little surface right there, just above that heatsink that we put in there. Now, we're just gonna just a little thing, just a little, maybe a little strip of detail, right? And it's not a very big section there either. And let's see, if we put a 1mm right there, how much space will we have left over? Not a lot. Not a lot. So we're going to stay away from that, right? We're going to stay away from a 1mm piece at this point. But let's see what else we got over here in the mix. Is this 1x1? Yeah, that looks like 1x1. Let's just make sure, though. Yeah, that's 1x1. We don't want that. Nah, you know what? I think we're gonna go with just this teeny tiny strip right here. This is 1/2 by 1/4, right? So that will actually fit really nicely right in there. And what I'm kind of thinking, actually, now that I'm looking at this, okay, so I got another idea for the heatsink here. All right, check this out. Watch this. Watch this. We pull the heatsink out, and let's not drop it. Let's put a little bevel right there at that top corner, right? And I'll show you why here in just a second. We're really gonna kind of go to town and put a fairly decent sized bevel right there, right? And we're even gonna go to a town here with the file. Really make that prominent, right? I'll show you guys here why I'm doing this in just a second. All right, that looks like what we want. It looks pretty nice. All right, let's get the debris out of there. Let's clean out the remaining little gaps here. Okay, we need to even this out just a bit because it's a little bit heavier on one side than the other. That looks much better. All right, so now you can kind of... It's not focusing. You son of a bitch. All right, let's see. Let's get, number one, let's get a little bit more light involved here. There we go. And then we're going to... There we are. So now you can kind of see that bevel on the back end corner right there, right? So we reposition this back into the piece, and then you're gonna see why. Yeah. Oh, that's so much better. That's so much better. Now you have kind of that separation there between this back edge and the heat sink, right? and it creates just a really nice shadow and a really nice effect. It kind of causes a gap between those two surfaces. It's not as... There's a transition there, right? That's so much better. I love that. Okay, cool. We're done with that. Chisel discipline. Always remember it. Alright, so we're going to put that out of the way. We're going to get that out of the way. We're going to get that out of the way. We're going to focus on this strip, and then we're going to finish out for today. Alright? Or at least for now. Alright, so, let's see. What kind of length are we looking at here? We're looking at just about 6 millimeter. Alright, so we're going to shoot for maybe about 5 millimeter on this. Just like that. Put that strip off to the side. Now, the tricky part is gluing this thing in place, because this piece, this little piece is so small and so delicate, we need to be super, super careful with it. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to get our little glue palette here, right? And we are going to cut a new little point on our scrap piece of plastic. Little drop of super glue there, and then we are going to stab this ever so gently with our hobby knife. It's just basically holding on, right? And then just a bead of super glue right across the surface there, and then right about there. Yeah. Press that down into place with the side of your blade, right? And there we go. And that just throws it off. And let's get back into super zoom here real quick so you guys can see what exactly we did here, because I know obviously that's hard to see while zoomed all the way out. Excuse me. And let's get, whoops, focus right there. Let's go back to 5 and manual focus. There we are. All right, let's go Windows back. All right, so now, see, look at that. That's a nice little detail right there, right? That's a nice little detail. I dig it. I dig it. It just kind of sets that off. It just breaks up the monotony of that particular surface, right? We'll come back. We'll clean out the super glue, squeeze out and everything like that, and that will look really, really quite nice right there. Yeah, I dig it. I dig it. All right, so let's put a bow on this thing, shall we? Let's get the hell out of here. All right, so real quick, let's get caught up with the chat one last time here, and then we're gonna get out of here. Let's see. William Williams says Zach reviewed a tool like that, like this last year, but I don't think it was this brand. Okay. Henry says, Tim, I wish you had the sync pieces a bit longer. That way the base be pushed back more inside the shoulder, and only the heat sink lines would be revealed. Oh no, dude, I like what this looks like. This looks great right now. I'm super happy with it. So yeah. Julie Stemsky says that looks so good now. Imagine how it will look when it's painted. Just saying. Yeah. I'm excited about this. Zeta New Type says came in right at the end. LOL, dude. Rewind it. They rewind it. That's what they're there for, right? William Williams says later, everyone. Time to run and listen to some podcasts. There you go. Soon you'll be listening to whatever my podcast is named. At some point. Anyway, all right, so you guys, I'll be back on here a little later tonight to work on the GBWC build. We got some cool stuff to show you on that. We're going to do some really interesting stuff there tomorrow, or tonight, I should say. Matt07K over there on Twitch says, will you be streaming tomorrow too? Yes, every single weekday. 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern U.S. time. Yeah, every single weekday. And then Monday and Wednesdays, 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. Mechanism on Fridays, 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. So yeah, so expect every single day of the week. Yeah, sometimes twice. Yeah, it'll be twice today. Yeah, so I'll be back here tonight at 10 p.m. So yep, expect that. Anywho, all right, so you guys, if you want one of these awesome Mecha script t-shirts, go hit up www.chatamecha.com, hit the store button up at the top. You'll find this shirt, many more hats, prints, all sorts of other cool stuff on there. So go stock up on that stuff. If you are interested in any of the tools and materials that we worked with here today, especially the baby Dremel, this little guy. Look. It's not showing very well on camera, but the light is green now because it's fully charged, and that's just, the thing is awesome. There's an Amazon link below here on Twitch and YouTube. You can find that baby Dremel and a bunch of other stuff on there. That side, if you're watching on Facebook, I do get a bit of a commission based off the stuff that you buy, but it doesn't increase the cost for you. Goes to help me out, goes to help out the stream, and kind of fuel our future endeavors that we're going to be jumping into hopefully very, very soon. So go pick up some stuff from there. And then if you are interested in kits, paints, tools, accessories, Mecha Decal Sheet 2 and 1, which are both in stock right now and shipping now. Adam and the fine folks right down here at USA Gundam Store will definitely have what you need. So they are working. They are still shipping out. They are getting bombarded with orders. So if you are in need of a new kit or anything like that, hit them up, because they're still pumping out orders and everything. So go get you some. So let's real quick one last time get caught up with the chat, and then we're gonna get out of here. Ruslam says, have fun and stay safe. Same to you, Bill. Thank you, brother. Chris Degger says, I bought the high grade unicorn a couple of months ago. Was not the best kit, LOL. This SD looks sick. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that, man. Ranger Chris says, thanks again for answering my questions. Brother, anytime. Persistent Turtle, Mr. Lucas says, Tim's Tool Time featuring the Bastard Files podcast. It's pretty good. I'm not going to lie. That's actually pretty good. John Michaels over there on Facebook. He says, just got paid today, so going to go check on the merch on your site. Thank you, John. Appreciate that, man. Drain Damage Customs going to step up my scribing gear and upgrading from the Tamiya Scriber too. Any recommendations? Oh, you cannot go wrong with the BMCs. They're hard to find because they sell out almost instantly everywhere. But from what I understand, Adam is getting a restock on those sometime soon. So keep checking USA Gundam Store pretty much every day. I think Adam's got to like notify me when something's in stock. I think he's got that. If it is on there, and I'm not 100% sure if it is. I think it is. But sign up for that on the BMC Chisels, and you should be notified when those come into stock, and act quickly when they do, because they sell out like that. But BMCs are the best, in my opinion. Madworks are a bit cheaper, but the ergonomics are a little for me. Henry says that charge lasts a long time too. It does seem to last a while on that little baby Dremel, yeah. I just like to name baby Dremel. So shout out to Tex for coming up with that name, right? Ruslam says, I have heard the best unicorn kit is the real grade full armor, built solid unlike other real grade unicorns. See, I'm not a big fan of real grade, so one of those things. Henry says, I charge mine like every 2 weeks. Holy shit, man. I just keep it plugged in. I don't even risk it, but that's pretty impressive. I'm not going to lie. Chris Degger says, USB charge? I did not even look. I assumed it was batteries. Even better. Dude, it really is. It's awesome. Ranger Chris says, USA Gundam just needs to get Mr. Color paints restocked. Dude, that's another thing that sells out super quick is Mr. Colors. Rusam says wave detail parts are in at USA. Yes, USA Gundam Store. Adam just posted that link or that picture today. He got a big order of wave option parts in. So if you need those, go stock up quickly. Rusam says, Ranger, what colors you need? Hit me up on IG. Rusam, Bill, it's just a good dude all the way around, I swear. But Bill has a question, so one last time. Will you show them a comparison between the rotary tool and a BMC chisel? BMC chisel, baby Dremel. My shirt was black, so, or it is black, yeah. So, much very similar in size. English is tough. Chris Decker says USA Gundam nippers with the free shipping deal. Not sure if they are still doing that deal, but they are decent little set if you don't have God hands. Dude, I really like those nippers. Mind you, I'm not a huge fan of single bladed. I like my double blades, but yeah, I think the USA Gundam Store nippers are actually really good. HRR148, brand of the baby Dremel. Tack Life. I got it in the Amazon link, HRO. Just hit the Amazon link below in the description, and that'll pull up the page. It's under tools for modeling, tools for scale modeling, whatever it's called. Yeah, it's in there, and go hit it up. Ranger Chris says, just ordered some of the ones I need, but want to wait and see what color I will need on some projects coming up first. Gotcha. Ranger Chris says, someone needs to do Baby Yoda with the baby Dremel. Right. So yeah, cool. Awesome. All right, kids. I'm out of here. I will be back on in a little less than 5 hours, and we're going to tackle the GBWC build. We got some cool stuff to show you on that, all that good stuff. So we're going to continue working on the arms tonight. So tune in. I will be back here tomorrow at 3 p.m. to jump back on this SD build and continue detailing out the shoulders and all sorts of other cool stuff. So come on back, and I will see you when I see you. All right? So, bye, guys.